Hi, it's Phil
and Sandy
from
parkerlings.com.
parkerlings.com. It's been a while since we gave you an update about the sale of our house and our move to the States. We debated whether to come on and give an update now, but if you're seeing this, we decided to go ahead and publish it. We accepted an offer on the house at the end of January this year, just shy of a month from being put on the market for sale, and we're confident the sale is progressing, but it's happening very slowly.
The buyer solicitors were apparently not fully instructed until a few weeks after we'd accepted the offer. And it seems to now be taking a few weeks for them to get all the necessary searches conducted. Then it will take time for the contract to be drawn up and all signed before the sale will be finally complete. Unfortunately, we still don't have a date for the sale completion. And frankly, that loss of control is really stressing me out. Because, of course, 9 months ago, when we decided we were going to make this move, we were saying we wanted to be in the States by February or March 2022. And here it is March, and we don't even have a date for making the move. After quite a bit of personal reflection, I know that this is God's repeated test and trial for me. I need to have date goals in mind. I need to know what deadlines are so that I'm ready just in time, even though I want to be flexible. For me, that flexibility always wants to be within a framework, within an overall plan. So I was struggling so much with not having that date in sight that we, at least partially, have gone ahead and put plans in place. I fully expect that as a result of us putting those plans in place, not everything is going to go smoothly, but I'm praying that the consequences of this are not too drastic.
So what's the plan we've put in place? Well, first we've scheduled the shipment to the States. We're packing up the house so it's ready as it can be for the new owners. Everything we're moving back to the States, except for what we were taking in a suitcase, we'll leave here next week and we'll arrive sometime at the end of April.
We're not taking any of our big furniture, not the sofa, not the dining table, etc. A lot of that stuff is going to be left for the new owners, and we found a charity that should be able to take any of the other big items of furniture that the new owners don't want, and we'll schedule a pickup with that charity at the end of March. Because they'll take our beds, we want to schedule them as late as we can so that we can minimize how much we have to rely on family to house us before we can actually move to the States.
That then brings us to scheduling flights for us and our girls, Anna and Elsa. Looking at dates in April, we realised that with Easter being in the middle of the month, flight costs are much higher the week before and after the holiday, so that leaves the first or last week of the month to get across for a reasonable cost. Now, since we wanted to be there by the end of April, when the shipment arrived, we made a tough decision to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
This means Sandy will go ahead at the beginning of April and be there to meet the dogs and the shipment, and meanwhile I will stay here in the UK and live with my parents while we finish up the house sale and work on getting our UK address established at my parents' house.
It's disappointing that we can't manage all this together, but it does allow us to meet commitments to my family in the States, and it gives Phil a chance to spend some quality time with his parents, who are going to have to learn how to cope without having us so close. The other fly in the ointment is that we continue to wait to hear about the approval of our petition for Phil's visa. And we still have the process of obtaining his visa after we get that approval. It's quite possible that this process could extend even further the time that we'll have to be apart. Because in our research, we understand that there can be problems if Phil tries to come into the States, even for just a short trip on the visa waiver program, if he's in the middle of applying for his visa. They may think that he has intentions of staying there illegally unless he can really legitimately prove that he's going to leave and come back to the UK again rather than trying to just stay on. So I continue to check my email and the U.S. Immigration Service's website nearly every day. It's become a part of my daily habit, and it's one of the screens that opens every time I open my web browser. I chased for an update the very first day that I was able to, just shy of 7 months from the application date back in July. And as a result of my chase, the automated system message moved from "We've received your application" to "We're actively reviewing your case." That was over 2 weeks ago. And let me tell you, the devil is not having a hard time working all sorts of negative thoughts as we endure this process. It is all we can do to keep our patience and keep positive about the situation.
Yes, even I'm starting to worry a bit that they'll find some reason not to approve the petition, and we'll be stuck with me living in the UK and Sandy being in the States, or Sandy will have to come back here, and we'll have to try and find a new place to live here in the UK with all of our stuff and our dogs already having been shipped to the States. So we ask that you please support us by praying and asking God to relieve us of this burden and reveal progress on the visa before it's too late for us to delay or stop shipment and the travel plans.
Yeah, absolutely. All these issues that we're facing right now are nothing compared to the trials of those who are experiencing the effects of war right now. The refugees who didn't have the time or luxury of selling their homes and belongings before they had to travel, we know. And we're very thankful that God has not given us such a burden as they are having to experience. We trust in God's promise that the temptations and burdens we have will strengthen our faith and won't harm our assurance of eternal salvation.
And we pray with all the world that God would see fit to send a peaceful resolution to the current conflict, and those refugees can go back to their homes and lives with the situation ultimately working for good to come to the region.
Yeah, definitely. A number of the people who we avidly watch on YouTube have mentioned how they've been impacted and concerned by the world's events, how what's happening has got them concerned about whether or not they're doing what's right for they and their families. They're questioning whether they've got their priorities right. I can empathize. I can remember a couple of key times in my life when I asked the very same questions about my choices. Right now, in this phase of my life, I'm taking strength from what the Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians. In chapter 10, he refers back to the early Israelites, and he reminds Christians about the problems that the Israelites faced. First, as refugees in Egypt, and then as they wandered 40 years, as God led them through various trials and temptations on their way to the Promised Land. Paul points out in verse 13, he says, "You are tempted in the same way all other human beings are. But God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can take. And when you're tempted, he'll provide a way out so that you can stand up under it." And it's so true. He's given opportunities for us, for me, to make changes so that I could feel like I was leaving a legacy.
And so we do continue with the plans, ready and willing to change them if and when God makes it clear that he's got different ideas for us. We really hope that our update today finds you well, and it gives you hope and encouragement in your own journey through life. We look forward to being able to give you a firmer update about our house sale and the progress of my visa soon. Thank you for your continued prayers and support. God bless.
God bless.
Bye.